abusia ya mako aba shonko so ewa POG Media so ene yare mako highway ne so highway ne de ensem bebre wo so ayen so ya jepene se yebemi abedwafo no ahu de eko ene de eba na den na eko so ewo highway ne so eye Speaker of Parliament A.Bagbin ena ede ensem bi ababetudo a enye asem keto akra Akuffo and not long ago on making some comment via Oka said he will never hand over power to opposition party whenever he loses power krana or no own handing over power. Now Speaker of Parliament I'm making comment on and some Akuffo too Jano or say Akuffo no or no and obe make sa statement na enduru okra no oni power bill na saa ne nsɛm a ɔkeka no deɛ ɔno Speaker of Parliament no ɔyɛ very much disappointed in him a ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa koraa. Speaker of Parliament atoto bi ama no asan so akyerɛ NPP amanyɔkuo ne sɛ ɔmo nkyema ɔmo afi koraa ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa koraa watoto bi ama ne Akuffo yi ankasa wɔhyɛ koraa na amanim sɛ bi a ɔne Akuffo no some connection bi ɛni ɔmo ntam a ɛndeɛ Speaker of Parliament on so sanso ye NDC ni a enye asam keto akra busia we ne ensema ekọ so e wo highway ni so e be person bam yakọ na yakọ akoti ensema ekọ so na ansa na e be kọ no o ensem kan bi afa hye ye comment section like na hye ma afoforo so ensa into me enka bi medamase.
To many, this is a crucial election. A crucial election because representatives of the governing New Patriotic Party, including the President Nana Addo Akuffo, have made it clear to Ghanaians that they will do everything to ensure they win this year's general election. The opposition NDC, which has been in opposition for the past 8 years, has also responded with representatives, including the former president, who is the flag bearer of the NDC, John Mahama, also saying that the NDC will ensure that this election is not stolen. And this time, the NDC is not going to court. What do these comments from these influential individuals mean? And these are people whose words can make or unmake the country ahead or during or before and after the country's general election. My name is Beatrice Addo. We are privileged and honored to have the Right Honorable Speaker of Ghana's Parliament, Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin. He's going to tell us really these comments that have come up, what could be done from his office and really all of us to ensure that there is peaceful environment and also the elections are peaceful, even in the midst of challenges like the economy, security. Now we are talking about Galamsey, which could be a potential threat as we head into this very crucial election. Thank you very much for joining us, and good afternoon to you, Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament, and thank you so much for opening your offices for us today.
Good afternoon, and you are welcome. It's not my office, it's also your office. This is the office of the Speaker of Parliament, inherited from the Governor General of the Gold Coast. This used to be the office of the Governor General of the Gold Coast.
A number of influential people indeed occupying this office even before you came in.
Oh yes, I'm just a son of them. So I was so privileged and honored to be given that position by the good people of Ghana, even though I was nominated by my party. It was my members of parliament, the members of parliament from the National Democratic Congress, who mostly voted for me, even though I benefited a few votes from the New Patriotic Party
Indeed.
to win over my professor who used to take us on a number of workshops as member of parliament. So I am forever indebted to my party and members of parliament and this country for this opportunity to serve them for these 4 years.
Let me first ask you, I just said that the country has about 4 months to go into this major election, 2024 general election. And I was saying that the opposition NDC wants to come back to power after 8 years in being opposition, the governing party, and we've heard the president say that a number of times, that I'm handing over power to Bawumia, who is currently the vice president of the country and the flag bearer of the MPP. Are you comfortable with the current political climate we have now?
Well, let me start by thanking TV3 for this opportunity. Well, if you recall, not long ago, I made a formal statement on the floor of Parliament indicating that I was not at ease with the political environment and the happenings and the loud silence of stakeholders in the country concerning the process of the Electoral Commission and the political parties, the main actors in elections. And therefore, it wasn't giving us some good omen that the critical 2024 elections could come out credibly, properly organized, because these were not done in consultation with the stakeholders. I just mentioned to you that after my statement on the floor, I actually moved
Indeed.
to the stakeholders and did discuss with them. I got the president to agree, and in fact, did indicate that he will personally be at the Accra Sports Stadium. I got the chairperson to agree and to be there herself, and she did honor it. I got the Chief Justice to agree and to be there herself, and she did honor it. The same for the IGP and the commanders and the CDS. Then the public, and I decided to use the ex-players of the Ghana Black Stars, led by Stephen Appiah, Tornado himself. And they were there in their numbers. And so it was not just sitting and writing to them, but we actually followed up. And together we agreed on the date. Unfortunately, His Excellency the President could not make it, but the Minister for Youth and Sports represented him. And we had a very good show. And so after that one, I continued the process and decided that the Speaker's seminar lectures, which are initiated in 2021, the second one was going to take place in Tamale. I organized it, and I got key members of these stakeholders to lead the presentation. And so the chairperson was invited. She agreed to the date. There was some challenge, and the date had to be changed. She couldn't make it herself, but the deputy chairperson was there to represent her. We also had Professor Emmanuel Kwesi Ening, as you know, a consultant, and also the one in charge of the Kofi Annan Peacekeeping Center, as the key note speaker. And he did a very good job. I invited civil society. Imani represented civil society, and lawyer Kofi Bentil came to deliver their position paper on this matter. We invited the public, the chiefs, the people, students, and the whole hall was full. The political parties were invited, and so led by the regional minister and the chairpersons of the political parties, we had a very good interaction on this same topic.
So I was asking, I picked on that loud silence bit because I'm sure you're aware that about a month ago, the chairman of the NDC said that the party felt that Peace Council in particular was not doing anything about what was happening, and therefore it didn't find the party didn't find the need to sign any peace pact. It was after that that we saw a lot of press conferences, not just from the Peace Council but also from the Electoral Commission. We'll go into their bit and the BVDs and how they are even handling all of that. Would you say that the Peace Council had been sleeping until Johnson Esiedun Ketia stood on his ground and said that you people are not being fair to us?
Well, you recall that the statements you referred to did not just happen this year. These statements were made a few years back. particularly His Excellency the President's statement that he will not hand over power to John Dramani Mahama. He will hand over power to the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. That was made far back as early 2023.
And he's kept
Yes,
making
and
that
he
comment.
kept making it, and it was supported, loudly by a cabinet minister, Honorable Brian Achampong. And nothing happened. And we had similar statements being made by party apparatchiks. Nothing happened until recently that the Peace Council came in. And the Peace Council came in also through the back door. He didn't do it properly.
So Esiedin Kwacha was right?
100%. He was 100%, and that has now ignited this flood of concern by many. And so you see, apart from me coming out to say that no, something must be done, the Peace Council then initiated some efforts, and their attention was drawn to the fact that since the 2020 elections, since the Ayawasu by-elections, a number of things happened. Commissions were established, reports were presented, recommendations were made. There were some statements that they will be implemented, and nothing has happened.
So
that we are moving to another. This time, the 2024 elections is unlike the 1992 elections, or the 1996, or the 2000 elections.
Why do you say that?
It's not also like 2004, 2008, or 2012 elections.
Why?
Neither is it like the 2016 and 2020. This is a critical election that will determine whether we are truly committed to the cause of multi-party constitutional democracy. Clearly, this election is not just about the political parties. It's about the soul of our nation. Very, very important. And so to have very experienced political leaders, particularly His Excellency the President, who started politics at a very early age because of his parenthood, and who was an activist in the CPP party, grew up to be the president of Kwame Nkrumah Youth Forum, and after the 1966 election, joined the United Party, Progress Party, now MPP, to come out after all that experience, a legal luminary, to say such a thing, that is inciting people to violence.
Okay.
That even if we lost the election, we will not hand over. We will do all we can to hold on to power. That is unacceptable. I was really shocked to hear that, because His Excellency the President knows that the power he's holding is not his. It's for the people, particularly the voters. And the people voted and gave him that power. John Dramani Mahama or His Excellency Dr.
Mahmoud
Bawumia.
You do not think
so
that...
those are the people that will have power, and those are the people that Ghanaians will now be listening to, not to him. So he has nothing, not even an empty shell. What we do is just a ceremony to show that power has now shifted from the former to the newly elected person.
You do not think that those comments were deep expressions of, I really wish that Bawumia would take over the reins of power from me?
You just said it. What prevented him from using that same language? It's my wish that MPP should win the elections and Bawumia will take over from me. But if you go and say categorically, I will not hand over power, as if the power is still in your hands. But by that time, it's not in his hands.
You just gave his history there, where he started from before he even became president.
Yeah.
Would you say that that comment was irresponsible, and he's repeated it?
Well, His Excellency knows better. You know, in mature democracies, they will take actions more than what we will do. That would have soiled all his records as a politician, you know, and all those descriptions people make of him in terms of law and the defense of human rights or the media, and also his record as a president. This cancels out all. It doesn't show that he's a Democrat and that he believes in multi-party democracy.
If I hear what you're saying, you were disappointed when you heard that.
Very, in fact, I was shocked. Was at least expected His Excellency to say such a thing.
But in addition to that, you just brought to the fore again a statement made by Brian Champon, and he's repeated it. He's a member of parliament, a parliament you oversee. Have you done anything about it? How do you see that, first of all?
Brian Champon is scarcely in parliament. You see, that is another thing that we have to do. You see, political leadership is a different ball game. You just don't trust untried and untested hands straight from birth into leadership position.
How do you
They
mean?
have to be groomed. They have to be tutored. They have to be mentored. They have to grow to it. They must have hands-on experience. And so the system we are running is a system that is damaging the growth of this country.
Brian doesn't have the experience.
Where? In politics? Zero. He just elected as a member of parliament and is made a cabinet minister. He has no knowledge about the public sector, about governance, about politics, and he is now going to lead the whole sector. He has never handled such power before, and therefore they think that they are the alpha and the omega.
So you think that's what's influencing how he's behaving?
Not only him, a number of our people in politics now. You know, as they grow, they will learn that what they did were wrong. And they were really undermining their own authority and relevance.
Wouldn't it be too late?
Very late. And that's one of the causes of our underdevelopment. Many countries who have made it have taken the time to evolve. And the evolution is not only about systems, it's also about human beings. And so we just don't take those decisions lightly. That you're given the opportunity to lead the country. If you want to bring up, definitely there's growth, there's replacement. We must always go with the youth. We must go with everybody. But you give them the position to grow. Okay? Once you keep on just cutting corners and doing what is happening now, we can never develop as a nation.
We can never develop as a nation. You see.
Speaker of Parliament, A.Bagbin, or the ensem we ebabetuja or chese ensema Akuffo edituja no ensema bogus ensema eni kwan kra say omampanyina oda omaya no eni kwan say utumi edis ensem no ebetuja o the ensem ne tuja that means say ope chaos ye den esi na NDC for so I willing say on between. You better be that fast so much penny cocoa tea sa audio no. Edemai. Aha, POG Media. Madam Master.